Hey y'all, I'm back with another video this week. I wasn't going to do one because I was like, I'm gonna just take this week off. But God was like, nah. God was like, nah, I'm gonna give you something. And so I wanted to talk about, God reminded me when I was in undergrad, I was going to school at Campbell University and I was majoring in accounting. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first started, I didn't do too hot. Like, I was struggling. And I'm pretty smart. I'm pretty smart and intelligent. But accounting was my Achilles heel. Like, it was about to take me out. And I remember one semester, I had a very rough semester. And I think I was in like the intermediate accounting too. And when the semester was over, I got an F. Like I like an F. It was that bad. Like I don't know if I was checked out. I don't know what happened. I got an F. And I had made up my mind. I said, you know what? I'm going to change my major. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm done with this. I'm like, maybe accounting just isn't for me. And my calling is something else. So I'm going to just nip this in the bud. We ain't going to waste much time on it. I'm going to just change my major. Like, that was my solution. And so I had made up my mind that the next day when I went back to work, because I worked there too, I was like, when I go back to work, I'm going to just head on over to the business school, and we going to just do that switcheroo there. We just going to handle this. So I got to work the next day, and as I was working, God spoke to me, and he said, change. He said, retake this course, that course, and that course. He pointed out 3 courses that he wanted me to retake. And I was just like, that is the craziest idea. I'm like, why would I go back and retake courses? First of all, I don't think you understood me the first time. I'm done. Like, I'm finito. I'm done. I'm not retaking. I'm like, when I tell you I'm done with the subject of accounting, I don't want to go back, retake no courses. like, no, absolutely not. I'm just like, first of all, that's going to take me twice as long to finish. I'm trying to graduate. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm trying to graduate. And the last thing I need to do right now is stop what I'm doing and go back and do anything. Because I'm on a time schedule. Like, I'm on a time schedule. I don't have time to go back and redo something. And so I was like, I had already made up in my mind that changing my major was the solution to this problemo that I had. But God was insistent that he wanted me to not only retake courses, but he told me which ones he wanted me to retake. And I'm like, God, like, I don't think you heard me. Like, it's going to take me longer to graduate now. But he would not address the fact that I was so worried about how long I was going to be in school. And he would not address the fact that I was worried about graduating on time. like he just kept reiterating that he wanted me to retake these 3 classes that I was just like, oh, okay, fine, I'll do it. He knows I'm gonna push back. Even now, if God asks me to do something, I'm gonna push back. But ultimately, I'm gonna just do it because that's how he is with me. He's just like, I know I'm gonna keep pushing it on you because I know you're gonna give me some pushback and you ain't gonna want to do it, but I'm gonna just keep reiterating until you give in. And so I went down to the business school and I changed because I had already did my schedule for next semester. So I went to the business school, and instead of changing my major to business administration, which was what I was planning on doing, I changed it. I just changed my courses and retook the 3 courses he told me to take. Oh, you talking about somebody You talk about somebody that absolutely did not want to do that. I'm like, I don't know. I don't understand why you want me to go back and do this again. Like, I'm just like, the simple solution is to just leave it alone. Obviously, I ain't good at accounting. If I made an F, I ain't good at this particular subject. And I'm okay with it. I'm at peace with the fact that I'm not good at it. So I don't understand why you want me to go back and relive this thing again. And so fast forward, the next semester comes and I'm retaking these courses. But not only am I retaking these courses, but all of a sudden, things started clicking for me. Like things that didn't click the first time. All of a sudden now, it's like it's marinating and I actually get it. And I remember one class it was a hard accounting class. It was one of the toughest ones. And I was sitting in that classroom and I was like, I don't understand how I'm gonna pass this class. I don't know if I didn't do it the first time, this is not looking promising. This is not looking like it's gonna happen the second time. And I remember God speaking to me. He said, write everything down. And I'm like, how is that supposed to help me at all? He said, write everything down. Everything that your teacher writes on the board, write it down. I don't care if she draws a smiley face on the board, put a smiley face in your notebook. If she accidentally puts a mark on the board, accidentally put one in your, write everything down. And what I didn't realize is that when God had me go back and retake these courses, he gave me strategy that I didn't have the first time. So he gave me strategy. And what that strategy did was to help me. Actually, the strategy gave me an opportunity to have a different outcome. Because in my mind, before I retook the classes, I thought the outcome was going to be the same. And it wasn't. And I ended up passing all 3 classes with either like an A or B. Whereas the first time I made like a D and an F. But I ended up. And so I look back on that. I was like, wow, God, even though I had to go back, and I absolutely hate going back and redoing stuff. Absolutely hate it. I hate retaking things. I hate going back and doing stuff a second time. And he knows this about me. But just the fact that he gave me strategy that time to redo it over and actually get a different outcome, I was like, okay. And here's the thing about it though. I graduated on time. Even though I had I think about it now, I was like, the math don't make sense. Me having to go back and retake 3 courses should have set me back. You would think that it would, because I'm like, I'm not having to backtrack. So, but I graduated on time. It was like I didn't miss a beat. I graduated on time. And it really made me think about Moses. Whenever he was, because Moses was his bloodline. He was a Hebrew. That's who he was. That was his bloodline. And so once he found out that he was not an Egyptian, that he was actually a Hebrew, he was presented with this situation where he wanted to defend his people. But when he defended his people the first time, it kind of backfired and he ended up killing an Egyptian. And so he buried the Egyptian in the sand, and he really thought that he felt that need to defend his people. And that was actually his calling. It really was. But it backfired on him. And he ended up running and fleeing. And he was gone for 40 years. Until God came. Until God came and represented that idea again. and told him to go back again. But this time when God sent him back, he didn't send him back the same way that he was the first time. He sent him back with strategy. And he sent him back with a plan. And it really made me think, I'm like, a lot of times we give God pushback whenever God tells us to go back and do something else or do something over. Because it's like, if I do this over, what is the point? I tried the first time, it didn't work. Like, I tried the first time. You might have tried a second time and it didn't work. But if God is telling you to go back and do something over, I'm a firm believer that he's going to give you strategy. And I also believe that if he's telling you to go back and do something, the outcome is going to be different. He's not, in our minds, sometimes we think that, like, God, why are you telling me to do this? Are you trying to, like, torture me or something? Because I was like, I don't see the reasoning in me having to go back and do anything. But if he has you going back and redoing something or revisiting something or doing something over, that means the outcome is going to be different. And the outcome is going to be different because now, this time, he's going to give you strategy in order to do what he's calling you to do. Because even in my mind, I was just like, if I fail the first time, God knows I'm going to go fail again. Like, whew. like, so I don't know why you want me to relive a failure. But if God is telling you to go back and redo something, he knows that the outcome is going to be different. Because he's going to give you the strategy. And it's going to make a world of difference. A world of difference the second time. Or how many other times you've done it and it didn't work. Because it sounds crazy. Like, you want me to do this again? And it didn't work the first couple of times. And you want me to go back and do it again? You know how many times I have tried to do a video and I'm just like, girl, bye. like, ooh, nah, that ain't for me. I'm like, I done tried a couple of times. No, that ain't my portion. I had already made up in my mind, and it ain't my portion. It ain't for me. And here come God. I want to revisit this idea. I'm like, I don't know why you want me to. Like, I don't know why you want me to. When I tried it the first couple of times, it didn't work. But it's like, it's something about when God wants you to just go back. Like, I'm going to give you some strategy this time. I'm going to give you some ideas this time. I'm going to give you the tools this time. You know why? Because this time, the outcome is going to be different. So I just wanted to come on today to kind of share that word with you. If God is calling you to go back to do something, there's a reason. And this time he's going to give you the strategy to be able to do it. So I hope you guys have a blessed day. Happy Valentine's Day. And I will see you next time. Bye.